Alright everybody, this is RobotVice. I'm going to be recording a few short videos. I've had some questions on my Techies, and I want to talk to you guys about why I do certain things and why they are most likely better than the way you're doing things, okay? So, we'll start with stacking mines. I've had a few people question me as to why I stack mines, okay? So we have here a perfectly stacked mine stack, okay? So stasis, proxy, remote. So how you do this is you take your hero and then you hold shift, and then you drag over your mines like this, okay? You box over them with shift, and once you do that, then you'll see all these portraits pop up. It just won't be your Techies portrait here. You'll have portraits of every mine. Okay, so then what you're going to do is you're going to lay your remote mine on top. You click onto the portrait, okay, and it perfectly stacks it. So what this will look like as a brand new stack is you lay a proxy, then into a stasis, you click the stasis onto the proxy mine, and then you click the remote on top. And then based on the timing in the game, you can lay, you know, 4 or 5 of these, and they're perfectly stacked on top of each other. So if an enemy walks into them, they will automatically be triggered, and they will get hit by every single one of the mines. You see here? Boom. And then one remote mine. It does it. So let's look at that again. So we have our axe. So he has a heart now. And we're gonna level bots to 25. Okay.
Let's go.
So you'll see here an axe. Instead of walking into, let's say, a stasis trap and just like a stack of proxy mines. So say you lay your mines not that organized, and you have 2 mines like this. So when the axe runs into the stack, if you try to set these off, they're not going to do anything. But luckily this hero was built in a way that you can stack them perfectly on top of each other. And if they do run into them, you can trigger every single one onto them, okay? So it gives you that advantage that your mine stacks can be cleaner and they can be more well hidden. So say, like, this is one of my favorite spots if I'm on Dire and I know they're going to be pushing the tier 2 soon. You put some mines here, you stack them. So right here, even if they have a gem of true sight, okay? Look at this. Even if they have a gem of true sight, Jesus. They walk around this tree and they get blown up, okay? Because they're all organized behind this tree. And there's nothing they can really do about it. Now, say right here, you're like, you know, I don't really care about this stack. And you're just like, all right, I'll put it next to those. I'll put it next to those. And you don't really think about it. It's going to be a huge problem for you. And let me move this axe to come from the other side here so you guys can take a look. So he's going to walk unsuspectingly. He's going to walk into the trap, and I'm like, I want to blow him up. You blow up these 2 mines, and one of them worked, but that's because they have a little bit longer radius than the proxy mines. But you see my point, okay? There's no point in not stacking them, ever. The only times I don't stack mines is if I'm laying mine stacks in the lane and I want them to be spread out. Like Slacks called in his video the Trail of Tears. This is all so that I can blow up individual creep waves and it's harder for the enemy to deward those mines. Okay? So say you want to put a mine stack right here on this corner. Just stack them up. And here's an interesting little interaction that will happen, okay? You see how these mines did not stack perfectly, and I'll show you why. So say you want to put some on this bounty rune right here. If you put mines too close to this tree, the trees, they will not stack perfectly, okay? You see how this one's a little behind? It's an interesting interaction that the proxy and the stasis will perfectly stack, but if you're too close to a tree, it's impossible for these mines to stack directly on. So this would be a stack I would be like, oh shit, I laid it too close to the tree, I can't use this. So let's look at this one, for example. You'll see how I position this right here, okay? So let's move another one a little closer to the tree, and you'll see again. So this is the mine stack I originally had, this stasis trap here. But this is the new one that I'm using now, and you'll see why it doesn't work. So you put a remote down, and it won't stack exactly on, because you're too close to this tree. But onto this stasis trap, they will stack perfectly. Okay? So people will be like, why don't you do the double proxy stasis anymore? That's just because it's unreliable, okay? So say an enemy walks up the stairs coming up this way, and this is like the most, the greatest chance that they'll get hit by this double, double stasis, whatever you want to call it. So let's look at this.
You sure?
Quit arguing.
This one might work anyways. Okay, so this one works fine. So maybe in the early game this could potentially be something, but most of the time when I skill stasis, it's too late, okay? It's too late for these traps to be effective at all. Once I hit level 14, 15, you will never see me lay proxies like this, okay? Every single one of my mine stacks will be this. They will be these all over the map. They're the most reliable, they're the easiest to lay, and they allow you to stay in the same position. And this is really important too. So say it's nighttime or daytime, doesn't matter. If you're able to stay in the same position and be under cover, that's the biggest thing. So if you're moving around, laying proxies everywhere, there's a better chance that a ward or an enemy hero is going to spot you. If you're constantly in the same position, laying mines, so once you get this proxy stasis off somewhere, so let's use another spot for example. So once you get this proxy stasis off somewhere, those are the ones that you have to be the closest to lay. Once you get those off, then you're able to sit in the trees, away from the enemy, away out of wards, away from enemy heroes here. And you're able to stay in one position. So there's a less chance that you're going to be detected, and a greater chance that the enemies are going to run into your mines. Okay, so this is just a little informational video about mine stacking and why I value it so much. I had a couple questions about it, and we'll talk about one last thing with it. So say we have mines in the lane, which you'll rarely see me lay these, okay? And this is what I talk about with some people as the necessary mines, okay? So you might see me lay a mine stack in the lane, okay? And they're always going to be stacked perfectly. I'm OCD. You know, these mines don't have to be stacked perfectly, but I'll tell you why it gives you an advantage, okay? These mines, once you have 6, 7 of them on top of each other, the enemy isn't going to be able to tell how many there are, okay? So they look at these mines and they think, you know, maybe 3, 4, 5. But there could be 12, could be 15. We can tell because we're used to it, and I kind of like count the pig noses, and I'm able to kind of detect it. But the enemies aren't used to techies. Nobody's used to playing against techies. Nobody's going to be able to count them up. And all it takes is one ranged hero. Let me see. Create hero. Lena. Enemy. So level bots 25. Give bots heart. Give hearts. So all it takes is one enemy. Not sure why she can't click them. Okay, so say she's right clicking the mines, okay? every time that she right-clicks them, there's like a 5% chance, 2% chance that she accidentally misclicks and doesn't click on the mines, and she walks a little bit closer. She destroys another one. She accidentally walks a little bit closer. And that's where you just blow her up, okay? So every time that they're attacking these mine stacks, there's a chance that they misclick, and it increases your chances of being able to blow her up. Oh, I see what you mean, Magic Morning. That makes sense. So that's another reason for stacking mines, and I just want people to understand that. There's all kinds of benefits for doing it, and if you're not stacking your mines, you're really doing it wrong. So thanks for watching, guys. This has been a video about mine placement and stacking mines and why I think it's so important with Techies. Thanks for watching, everybody, and stay tuned for the next video.